Let's see. There we are. Now I got to run the intro real quick. Brought to you by DMRHosting.com. Unlimited data storage, unlimited data transfer, antivirus, and spam protection, along with 24/7, 365 support via chat or phone. Get started today with a 30-day free trial at DMRHosting.com. Good morning, everybody. I got my cup of coffee this morning. I have my owl coffee so that I can be a little bit wiser today. Today we have a very, very special guest. Dal Sanders is an entertainer and actor who has appeared in scores of theatrical productions, TV commercials, films, and various television series, including Dallas. He's an award-winning professional magician and illusionist who has amazed audiences with his own touring shows. Sanders has been the featured performer at theaters, resorts, casinos, and corporate events across the country. Please give a warm welcome to Dal Sanders, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's me. That's me. Wow, that intro was great. Thank you.
Stole it from your website, by the way.
Oh, really? My
Yeah,
website is under construction.
Well, I moved a few things and found some stuff that was really nice. So, a lot of people don't know this. You run the Dallas Magic Academy.
Yes, Dallas Magic Academy. We started it 6 years ago, and a little over 6 years ago, I guess. And it's been very, very fun. A very, very fun thing to do. We teach over 500 students every year, and that includes the year where the world shut down. We were online almost immediately. I'm a member of a group that like to visit from all over the world, entertainers from all over the world. And we had tried Skype for our visits, and that didn't work out so well. So we went to Zoom. So even before the pandemic, I had a Zoom account. And they shut the world down, if you recall, on a Friday. And we had a Magic Club meeting on the next Tuesday. So I sent a Zoom link out to our Magic Club. And when they shut the world down, they also shut down our after-school program, of course. So the Magic Club, our Dallas Magic Club, kept going straight through the pandemic online, like a lot of clubs did.
Mm-hmm.
But after that first one, which was like 4 days after they shut the world down, we did the Magic Club, and my wife came in after the meeting and said, "Wow, that worked really well. Do you think we can do that with the Dallas Magic Academy?" And I said, "I don't see why not." She said, "Good, because I don't want to give any refunds." I'm going like, okay, I understand that. And so within 2 weeks, within 10 days actually of that, we had brought our afternoon after school classes together in one meeting, and we finished out the course. And then we said, okay, we've got something here. And so during the pandemic, we also taught over 500 students the full course from around the world. We had kids in Brazil and kids everywhere joining us. And we also taught 3,500 students our one-day workshops, our one-day wonder workshops. So we use the Discover Magic program, which is developed by Michael Amar and Brian South. And it's truly an amazing program. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's
Well, I'm not as familiar with it as I would like to be. Dal knows this, and some people do. I used to do children's magic and entertain at coffee houses about 450 years ago. And
how old does that make me then?
But my love for magic never went away, and I've always tried to stay in contact with the magic clubs in the DFW areas and come to the shows as best I can. But Dal has persisted and persisted and persisted over the years, and has been an inspiration to a lot of people who've come up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And he's got this love to teaching. I mean, if you're willing to listen, he's got something to say, and it's always very important because magic is about communication. And one of the things kids have a problem with today, I think, is communicating successfully and the Dallas Magic Academy helps people uh, communicate with each other and gets them out of their shells. And because we were so isolated for so long, that it's good to have something to break the ice.
Well, and it also gets kids from getting their things out and doing this all the time to actually establishing eye to eye contact and talking. It's we like to talk about it as a life skills class that's cleverly disguised as a magic class. So,
Hmm. Um, what are some of the things that you'll walk away from if you go to the Dallas Magic Academy? I mean, are we talking just card tricks, sleight of hand, or entertainment theory? What are we looking at?
well, first of all, the first thing we teach in every single class is the three rules of magic. Rule number one is to have fun. Most magicians, when they teach classes, they say, "Oh, the first rule is never reveal the secret." No, the first rule is to have fun. The second rule is to treat others the way you want to be treated. Uh, you and I grew up in a time when we saw a lot of magicians who uh, were very condescending to their audiences. And there may be still some of that today, but not as much, I don't think. So the second rule is to treat others the way you want to be treated. And then the third rule is never reveal the secret. So that's the first thing people are learning. And uh, oh, I see Mark's comment. Yes, I am too old to count, brother. Thank you very much. Um, so uh, that's the first things you learn. But then you also learn the 8 traits of a true magician. Like a true magician is respectful, a true magician is prepared, a true magician is enthusiastic and giving, and these other things. So all of these traits, these really important character traits, are part of our courses. So
Hmm. And I
plus you
should
learn
point out
some
real
good
quick,
magic.
those are the you know what if you don't have those foundations to build upon, your show is going to be a little bit lackluster, which is what happened to me at the very beginning. Um, my shows were just a series of effect, 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 one not leading into the other. There was no rhyme or reason. Okay, let's pick up this balloon now and see what I can do with it.
Yeah, I think all of our shows started off that way, but uh, we've all gotten better. It's
Hmm.
we've learned from we stand on the shoulders of giants. It's a cliche, but it's true. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I liken it to the world of professional wrestling in the fact that you always try to keep the best stuff for yourselves, but you wind up sharing it with someone you trust. Uh, the best moves, the best tricks, the easiest way to get out of a certain situation. Um, had a friend of mine who was doing a show. I was spectating, and he asked an audience member for a 3-digit number. And he told me beforehand. He said, "Always choose somebody with glasses because at least they're trying to see something or learn something because the glasses are the key, right?" So he picked this guy in the audience who had glasses on, and he said, "Choose a 3-digit number." And he was getting ready to write it up on the board, and the guy looked straight up at him and said, "Grub." And he said, "I'm sorry, what?" "Grub. It's got 3 letters in it. Grub." But just the
and
consummate
there was the
professional
magic.
he was able to take some sort of number algorithm and turn those letters into numbers and work it back into the trick and wound up coming out of there looking like he was smelling like roses. Like it almost seemed like the audience member was a part of the show, but he wasn't.
So yeah, you mentioned wrestling. One of my most fun things I did in the '80s, the mid '80s, was work with the famous Von Erich brothers,
Oh my
and
goodness, yeah.
so that was such a blast. Those guys were so funny and just they just enjoyed. It wasn't just wrestling for them; they were true entertainers. So and they liked magic.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing. Yeah, some people have that little something extra. And their love, their passion for what they were doing, always came through. Whether they were in one of the local territories, or we're here in the local. They back in the old days, they had territories where wrestlers were not national heroes, but in the DFW area, the Von Erichs were they were the kings. But if you take them just a little bit over to Georgia, they were the worst of the worst because they were from Texas. So,
They were the bad
but
guys.
yeah, but either way, it didn't matter if they were playing good, playing bad, whatever the situation they found themselves in, they were able to adapt to it and just make it a thrilling adventure to be on, yeah, on their stage. And speaking of which, you've got a stage yourself in the Magic Living Room, and you've got a show coming up tonight.
Big show. It's our Halloween spooktaculars, so to speak. Yeah, we've started Magic in the Living Room about 4 years ago, and it's been a blast. We perform every month, the first Tuesday of every month, and every show is different. There's been no two shows that have been the same. We rotate the acts in and out. The three consistents are myself, Ian Richards, and Mike Squires. And Mike Squires, he's working full time and everything, so he's not there all the time anymore. But we have been the
Hmm.
three consistents. We did have Frank Seltzer as part of the consistent group too, and but he passed away in what was it? I guess December. And
Hmm.
and also we have uh, Daryl Howard, who is our close-up magician. Usually, our close-up magician before the show. He's also our photographer, who has taken all just amazing photos of every single show. And
Hmm.
tonight is a special night for him. This is his birthday month, and he's also announcing his retirement from the electric business. So he's going
Oh,
to become a full-time magician uh, as of our show tonight. So
retirement makes a lot of stars. I got a friend by the name of Bill Haas who retired from the IRS to become a filmmaker full time.
wow. Now that's a huge switch right there. So,
So we've got the tickets are on sale for $15 in advance, and that
yes,
includes your first drink,
yes,
if you're so inclined.
$20 at the door. So it's always a better deal to get your tickets in advance. And check out the artwork there. Artwork.
Oh yeah.
When we first started doing the show, one of our Dallas Magic Club members, and also one of my friends that I've known him since he was in high school, actually, uh, way over in Shreveport days. Brad Kozak. He's also a graphic artist, and he designed all of our posters and put them together. He also performed music. He's also a musician. He also
Hmm.
performed music for the first couple of years of the show, and then we just lost a lot of space in the room due to the way they reconfigured the room for comedy too. And
Uh huh.
he was the one who actually knew of the space, the living room. It's part of the Line Public House. It's a side room that was used mostly for music uh, back before we went in there. And he said, well, he heard Frank and I talking about wanting a place to perform and just, you know, build some flight time. And he said, well, I know a little room. We went over there and checked it out. It seats about 50 people. It's perfect for us. So it's a nice little room. It's comfortable. Uh, they called it the living room, so Magic in the Living Room just sounded good. I mean, I think that's one of
Hmm.
the best names for a show I've heard. And the show is very informal, and it's an ensemble cast every month. And like I said, we've been going on, except for the most of 2020. We've been going on solid for 4 years.
Now, I love the style of artwork here because it's very reminiscent of the Rocky and Bullwinkle era.
Exactly.
The that sort
Exactly.
of 1950s, early 60s TV animation.
the Terry tunes and all that stuff. Yes, it's exactly what he was going for. And he's developed a series of, I think there are 18 different styles, different posters that we rotate in and out every month. Of course, the magic
Hmm.
theme that you see here is this is always our October one. And we also have one for we do our clown show in May when we celebrate clowning. Uh, he also
Hmm.
did some really cool caricatures of many of the acts that we can put in and out of some of the posters when different people are highlighted. And like I said, Brad's also a magician and a musician and a graphic artist. He's one of those guys. He's one of those kids that couldn't decide what he wanted to be when he grew up. So,
Now,
oh
here we see a fine group of people.
yes, this is our. You see the clowns. That was from our May show. May 1st
Hmm.
is every clown's birthday, and all clowns celebrate their birthday on May 1st because that's when the circus started every year. And
Hmm.
um, so this was our from our May show, and the redhead up in the center there. That's my lovely wife Cindy as Boopsy the clown. So it's a fun show. We celebrate clowning, we do silly stuff, and have a good time. So yeah, that's our cast from this past year.
Dennis O'Neill asks, "Are we invited in
Uh,
to Clown College or to the show?"
yeah, you're welcome to the show. Just buy a ticket. That's all you have to do. MagicLivingRoom.com, and you can go get a ticket for $15 and get your first drink free if you were so inclined.
Come
So
see the show at 940 East Beltline Road in Richardson, the Line Public House in the living room.
yes.
Oh, you mean on this show?
Oh,
Oh, oh, you want in on this show? I see. Not sure how I would go about doing that right about now, but definitely, Dennis, if you want to be on the show, I will definitely have you on because Dennis O'Neill has a lot of projects. He's a wonderful actor, producer, writer, director, and even has classes for acting in the neighborhood in the DFW area. So, yes, definitely, Dennis, you can be on the show at some point. So, I'll get with you and we will talk about this at length, definitely, for sure. And over here we have you in action levitating a wooden table.
yes. The finale of my part of the show, generally, uh, that's what people think of. They either think that you're going to saw somebody in half or make something levitate. That's what people automatically go to, or pull a rabbit out of a hat when they think about magicians. So I happen to love levitations, and so it's a small stage, as you can see from the photo, and
Hmm.
so table floating is the best thing for this show. So
When I was doing birthday parties, I actually did pull a stuffed rabbit out of the hat, and I wound up having to because children will be children. I wound up having to add extra smaller bunnies for the rest of the party, and it wound up being not so cost effective, even though it worked really well to get me booked again.
I tell you what, that is such a cool thing to do, though. I mean, giving the kids something physical they can take home and carry and hold on to. That's
Hmm.
that's a great idea. Uh, Gift magic is always important. So good,
Yeah.
good on you, man. Good on you, Dan. So
Then I stopped. So yeah, not so good. And who do we have here?
well, that is Sean Rayvon Wilson, and Sean is the granddaughter of Mark and Nani Wilson, two of the most
Hmm.
influential magicians ever. And really, to tell you the truth, when I was 10 years old, I was glued to the TV every single Saturday morning to watch the Magic Land of Alakazam, uh, and just thought Mark Wilson and Nani and Rebo the Clown, Ben Bergeron, was just the greatest acts in the world. I was
Yeah.
jealous of their son, uh, and this is the offspring of their son from the show. She's got her own act, as you can see. Uh, I think those are butterflies. You can't tell from the picture, but she has got her own act, and we've worked together on several projects. In fact, I just saw her last week. We got to visit a little at the Magic Castle Awards. She was there with her grandmother, Nani. So
That's so
that,
wonderful when you have second and third generations, and in even locally, we've had a couple of second generation magicians.
Bruce and Bronson Chadwick.
Yes, yes, yes. And Bronson is now the president, I believe, of the local chapter of SAM,
He
or something.
just retired from being the president of Texas Association of Magicians. Your 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 president for 1 year. So he finished his year with the TAUM convention in Fort Worth this past September, and
Hmm.
uh, and now he is the regional vice president for the Society of American Magicians. So
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah. So, I really have to reach out to them. I haven't talked to them in such a long time, but good folks, you know. Oh, and I see you. It's not just magic, but also juggling artists as well.
that's right. I, I'm a fan of variety arts. So we've had jugglers in there. Sean also does a hula hoop act, so she's done her hula hoop act in there. If there was
Hmm.
enough room, I'd bring in uh, some aerial stuff and let the some of our friends that do things like that do aerial work. But it's just a little tiny room. Always looking for a bigger room. If anybody out there has a bigger room, I'll bring out a great show for you. So, but yeah, we've had jugglers out there. We've had, like I said, clowns and lots and lots and lots of magicians. So, ah, that's from our
And
Mardi.
there's a little something for everybody, I guess.
That's right. That's KP Gavitt, and she was out for our Mardi Gras show and did a little burlesque act, and it was great fun. So I love those wings that
Yeah, yeah, very
you can't tell in
captivating.
you can't tell in this picture, but they lit up, and it was just awesome. The technology that's available these days for acts like that used to be you'd only see something like that in Las Vegas, but now you can see it at the living room from time to time in North Dallas.
Well, I've noticed that there are more and more burlesque shows showing up in the area, in different places and different venues. So that's kind of exciting to see. And here's the more traditional, I would say, card magic.
That's right. This is Bill Bentz. He's from Los Angeles. He's also recently moved to the Dallas area. We have several people that during the pandemic, for whatever reason, moved to Dallas, and it's really reinvigorated our magic community. And he's very, very good. He's also a, a runner. He runs in all these marathons and everything. And I tried running one time, and I stopped for a moment and looked behind me. There was nobody chasing me, so I thought, why am I running? So, but no, he's really into it. So,
I myself have knee issues, so I don't do any running. I do the low impact stuff myself. And
and
this is
this is just a regular show. These are all magicians in this photo. There's Libby. There's Randy Rain, who's one of the most creative people in magic. In the
oh yeah.
I mean, she can. You, more than once, I've gone to Randy and said, "Okay, I've got this idea for something," and 2 months later, she sends it to me or shows it to me or whatever, and I'm going like, "Okay, well, yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking." Christopher
I
Lyle.
remember one time I saw I was just going to say about Randy. One time she was working on a prototype of an idea based on the knife sticking up in the bag, where you had multiple choices and you put your hand down on it, except there was a little critter in the bag.
Uh, I think her. Oh yeah, what was that? That was her hedgehog, I think. So
Yes.
yes, she's she's incredible. Uh, she also did the world's very best uh, flea circus. I mean, you can put any flea circus up against hers, and she wins. It's basically what she did for 2 months straight, and it's just an amazing thing. There's a whole series of videos on YouTube about how she built the flea circus. So it's amazing. That's Christopher Lyle in the yellow suit. He can make anything out of balloons, but he also does some incredible magic and is very funny.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is our our buddies. There's Ian Richards on the on my right. It's the left hand side of the picture, and Ian he's got one of the most unique acts in magic. I think you he does this thing, this magician in trouble thing, and where you think, oh, he's something's gone terribly wrong, and you're ready to jump up and help him out or whatever, and then you just realize it's part of the act, and he's just suckered you in, and you know,
One
and
of
it's so
one one of the last shows that I did, I was in a bar, and it was a few years back, but this was the last show I had done. I hadn't planned on stopping, but I wound up stopping, and I had a giant card uh, in the back with the back of the card facing the audience, so nobody could see what it was, and that was going to be my prediction. And I took a deck of cards, and I called somebody out of the audience and put it in her hands, and I gave her directions on what to do, how to open the package, shuffle the cards, pull the cards out, and look at the card, pick one card, show it to the audience. And I went through this entire. It was almost 3 minutes of instructions, and the whole time she couldn't get the package open, and so the audience was just going crazy. They were going crazy. And when I turned around and told her that I would write her a check for $100 if I got the card wrong, and if she had the card in mind, and she said, "I got a card in mind," the audience just they went nuts. But then again, it was also happy hour, so that could have been part of it. But I love that kind of trick where you you're the butt of the joke, not the person who's come up to volunteer, not anybody in the audience. I'm no smarter than they are, but I wind up being the butt of the joke. I wind up being the humor of the whole thing, and then when it all works out in the end, everybody's just completely amazed. They think you've you've blown it, you've ruined it. Yeah, there's no recovering from that, and that's the best kind of magic, I think, for myself. I mean, that's just
oh,
the style. So I would love to see what he's got going on, and I'd love to see that routine, because I think that's going to be just phenomenal.
well, he's going to be there tonight, and he'll be amazing. So, and the being the butt of the joke, Cindy and I, we do a lot of magic together too. We started when we got well shortly after we got married. Um, she did not want to be on stage. She was a businesswoman. She ran an advertising agency. She was my boss because she,
Hmm.
you know, I worked for the agency a lot, and then we fell in love, got married. It's a long story. I won't tell it here,
Yeah.
but um, she did not want to be on stage until she was running our business, Amazing Attractions, and she saw how much fun all the entertainers were getting, and she was sure she was making 20% of that, but she wasn't having all the fun everybody else was having. So she said, can you write me a show? And so I wrote her a show. So she does all these children's characters. She's Bootsy the Clown. She plays Sister Cat, the sister to the Cat in the Hat. She's got a Dinomania show and all these great children's shows, and a brand new show, which is a unicorn show, which the little girls absolutely love. But then we started working together more and more, and we got cast together in our little TV show, Cartoon Circus. And she's playing
Hmm.
Bootsy the Clown, and I'm the ringmaster. And at first, we started off, we didn't know where we were working together because, I'd always been the magician, she'd been the assistant, but we needed to figure out a way to even that out. And so we were doing this uh, trick. It's a topsy turvy chair. And the way most people do it is like an argument. And so we debuted it to test it out at the Magic Club. And Mike Squires, who is also one of our original guys, came up and said, Dal, I love that trick, but nobody wants to see mom and dad argue. And I looked at him and he says, yeah, let's face it, you and Cindy are mom and dad to all of us. And I said, okay, I can accept that. Said, he said, do you mind if I work on this a little bit? So he developed the script for it where this happens, the magic happens with the chair turning upside down, right side up and everything, because Cindy says that makes sense. Even though it doesn't make sense to the rest of the world, it makes sense to Cindy. And so it happens. And my job is to be just as surprised as everybody else. It's kind of a George Burns, Gracie Allen type of thing. Gracie Allen would say these ridiculous things, and George would say, yeah, sure, right, Gracie. And then it would happen just that way. So so we owe the development of our character a lot to Mike Squires for seeing a way that we could go where we wouldn't be mom and dad arguing on stage. So
Yeah, yeah.
And again, that was developed at Magic at the Living Room, which is why we have the place. It's Penn Jillette and Mac King. They all talk about having a place that you can go and work and perform and establish flight time. It's like a pilot. The more he flies, the better pilot he is. Okay. And the more a magician
Yes.
or any entertainer performs, the better entertainer he's going to be. Comics and
Absolutely.
comedians, they understand that. They get that. I don't want to drop names here, but I'm going to anyway. I was talking to Harrison Greenbaum, and he was talking about, yeah, I did 6 shows over the weekend. I said, 6 shows? Well, that's a lot over the weekend. He said, actually, I did them all on Saturday night. I said, how do you do 6 shows on a Saturday night? And he lives in New York City. I go from this club to that club to that club to that club. And I said, they all hired you? He says, oh no, only the first one hired me. After that, it was just all open mics. I said, Harrison, you're really well known. Why are you doing that so much? Why are you still doing open mics? He says, so I can be better. I want to keep my tools sharp. And that's when I realized that's exactly what we're doing at the Magic in the Living Room. That's why we
Hmm.
started it in the first place. It's a chance for us to get up on stage, sharpen our tools, and be better magicians. So, hey, and look, there's our website. So,
There's your website, magicintheliving.com. You can go there for more information. Let me
and I
see
just
if I
heard
can
my
do this
phone
real
ding, so
quick.
somebody bought a ticket. So, thank you.
Oh, fantastic. You can go to, oh, we've got an alarm back there going off. So what we got here is Magic in the Living Room, 7 p.m. tonight, October 4th, 940 East Beltline, Richardson at the Line Public House in the living room section. $15 in advance, and includes your first drink. And you can get more information or buy tickets at the magicintheliving.com. Dal, thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to out of your busy schedule to come here. We'll have to do this again and talk about different stuff. Maybe bring a couple more magicians on as well, and see what we can do.
That'd be a blast. Thanks very much, Dan. I appreciate you having me.
All right, thanks a lot. Everybody else, you make yourselves well. Get out there to watch the show. please, you're allowed to get out the house now. Come out and see a show and make yourself make yourself. I did it again. Have a great day.
Thanks, man.